The screen door slams behind you as you step into the cool darkness of the drugstore, your shoes sticking slightly to the black and white checkered floor. The ceiling fan turns slowly overhead while the soda jerk looks up from polishing a glass and gives you that familiar nod. You slide onto a red vinyl stool at the marble counter, still warm from the afternoon sun on your skin, and suddenly the whole summer stretches out before you in that moment of deciding what to order. The soda fountain wasn't just a place to get a cold drink in the summers before 1970. It was where you fell in love, where you celebrated the last day of school, where you spent your first paycheck, where the whole town gathered when the heat became unbearable. Those fountain drinks were mixed by hand, one at a time, each one a small performance of syrup and soda and ice cream that you couldn't get anywhere else. Today, we're counting down 10 forgotten soda fountain drinks that defined American summers before 1970, the cold, sweet tastes that marked every perfect day. Number 10, the Green River. Let's start with a drink that glowed like liquid emerald in a tall glass, so bright and unnatural looking that it seemed almost magical. The Green River was made from a vivid green syrup that tasted like lime, but sweeter, mixed with carbonated water and served over crushed ice until the whole thing turned frosty and inviting. Soda jerks loved making it because that shocking green color always got a reaction, especially from children who'd never seen anything quite like it before. The flavor was sharp and citrusy, but also somehow creamy, different from any lime soda you could buy in a store. On the hottest July afternoons, that bright green drink looked like the most refreshing thing in the world, and tasting it never disappointed. Green River syrup came in big glass bottles that sat on the back bar of every soda fountain, ready to transform ordinary carbonated water into something that felt special and different. As commercial lime sodas like Sprite and 7-Up took over in the 60s, and as people became more suspicious of those artificial colors, the Green River slowly vanished from fountain menus. But anyone who ever drank one still remembers that electric green glow. Number 9, the Phosphate. Here's a drink that hardly anyone under 50 has even heard of, yet it was once as common at soda fountains as a Coca-Cola is today. The phosphate was made by adding a splash of acid phosphate to any flavored syrup and soda water, creating a tangy, slightly sour edge that cut through the sweetness and made the whole drink more refreshing. You could get a cherry phosphate, a lemon phosphate, or a vanilla phosphate, each one balanced between sweet and tart in a way that modern sodas never quite achieve. The acid phosphate came in small brown bottles, and the soda jerk would measure it carefully, just a few drops to give the drink that characteristic bite. Regular customers had their preferred phosphate flavors and would order them by name, and the fountain workers knew exactly how much phosphate each person liked. The drink was believed to aid digestion and settle your stomach, which made it popular with adults who wanted something lighter than a heavy ice cream concoction. When concerns arose about phosphoric acid in the 1960s and manufacturers stopped making acid phosphate widely available, the true phosphate disappeared almost overnight, leaving behind only the memory of that perfectly balanced sweet tart flavor.
Number 8, the Broadway. Walk into any soda fountain in the 1950s and ask for a Broadway, and the soda jerk would know exactly what to make without asking a single question. This elegant drink combined chocolate syrup, black coffee, and carbonated water, all mixed together and served over ice with a straw. The combination sounds unusual now, but back then it was considered sophisticated, something teenagers ordered when they wanted to seem grown up and worldly. The coffee gave it a slight bitterness that played against the sweet chocolate, while the carbonation made it light and drinkable even on sweltering summer days. It had enough coffee to give you a little lift, but not so much that parents worried about children drinking it. The Broadway represented a middle ground between kid drinks and adult beverages, perfect for young people who were outgrowing ice cream sodas but not quite ready for plain black coffee. Some fountains made their own variations, adding cream or vanilla, but the classic version was just those three simple ingredients mixed to perfection. As coffee culture changed and iced coffee became more commercial and standardized, the handmade Broadway faded away, too complicated for fast food restaurants and too old-fashioned for the new coffee shops. Number 7. The lemon sour. On those days when the summer heat was so thick you could hardly breathe, nothing cut through it quite like a lemon sour, the tartest, most puckering drink the soda fountain offered. This wasn't sweet lemonade like children drank at home. It was fresh lemon juice, just barely sweetened, mixed with carbonated water and served so cold that frost formed on the outside of the glass. The soda jerk would squeeze real lemons right there at the counter, the bright citrus smell filling the air, then add just enough sugar syrup to make it drinkable without hiding that sharp lemon taste. Your first sip would make your whole face scrunch up, but by the third or fourth sip you were hooked, craving that clean, sour intensity. Adults especially loved lemon sours, appreciating a drink that treated them like they had sophisticated taste buds instead of serving them candy-sweet concoctions. Some people added a pinch of salt to make it even more refreshing, a trick they'd learned during hot summer workdays. The lemon sour required real ingredients and real work, squeezing fresh lemons throughout the day, and when pre-made lemon syrups became the standard, that authentic tartness disappeared, replaced by something sweeter and easier, but never quite the same. Number 5. The cherry smash. Here's where soda fountain drinks crossed over into something more like dessert, and nobody minded one bit. The cherry smash started with fresh cherries or thick cherry syrup, muddled with sugar and lemon at the bottom of a tall glass. Then the soda jerk would add crushed ice, really crushed, almost like snow, before topping it with carbonated water and stirring until everything combined into a sweet, fruity, icy drink. Some fountains added a scoop of vanilla ice cream to make it even richer, turning it into something between a drink and a sundae. The cherries would settle at the bottom, and when you reached them with your straw, getting that burst of concentrated cherry flavor felt like finding treasure. Teenagers especially loved cherry smashes, often sharing one with 2 straws, the drink becoming part of the romance and innocence of summer dating. The bright red color made it photograph beautifully, back when people took photographs much more carefully and intentionally than they do now. As fountain culture declined and fast food chains offered simpler, standardized drinks, the labor-intensive cherry smash disappeared from most menus too complicated to make quickly when lines of customers were waiting.
Number 4. The Lime Ricky. Every region had its favorite fountain drink, but the Lime Ricky held a special place in hearts across America, particularly in the South, where the heat made anything cold and tart feel like salvation. This drink combined fresh lime juice, sugar syrup, and carbonated water, with the spent lime half dropped right into the glass so you could squeeze out more juice as you drank. Some people added a cherry for color, others preferred it plain, but everyone agreed that the Lime Ricky was the most refreshing drink you could order. The key was using real limes cut fresh that morning, with the oils from the peel adding a slight bitterness that kept the drink interesting. Fathers would take their children to the fountain on Saturday afternoons and order Lime Rickies all around, the family sitting at the counter together watching the world go by. The drink supposedly got its name from a Colonel Ricky back in the 1890s, but by the 1950s and 60s it belonged to everyone, democratic and unpretentious. When bottled lemon-lime sodas flooded the market and fresh limes became more expensive, fountain owners gradually stopped making Rickies from scratch, and that perfect balance of sweet, tart, and bitter slipped away. Number 3. The Brown Cow. Now we're getting into the richer territory, the drinks that were really more like liquid desserts, and the Brown Cow was among the most decadent. This creation combined chocolate syrup with root beer and vanilla ice cream, all mixed together until it was thick and foamy and impossible to drink without a spoon. The root beer added a spicy, herbal note that kept the chocolate from being too heavy, while the ice cream made everything smooth and rich. Soda jerks would make it in a tall glass or a metal mixing cup, sometimes on the Hamilton Beach mixer that would whir and clatter, sometimes just with a long spoon and strong arm. Children saved their allowance for brown cows, knowing that one drink could be a whole afternoon's entertainment, sipped slowly while sitting in a booth and feeling very grown up. The drink was filling enough to count as a snack, substantial enough that mothers sometimes worried it would spoil dinner. Some fountains made variations, using chocolate ice cream instead of vanilla, or adding malt powder to make it even richer. As soft-serve ice cream and pre-mixed shakes took over from hand-scooped creations, the traditional brown cow became rarer, its place taken by standardized products that were easier to make but never tasted quite as special.
Number 2. The raspberry shrub. Long before anyone was talking about artisanal sodas or craft beverages, soda fountains were making shrubs, vinegar-based fruit drinks that sound strange now but were absolute favorites back then. The raspberry shrub combined raspberry syrup that had been aged with vinegar, mixed with cold water or soda water, creating something sweet and tart and slightly tangy all at once. The vinegar gave it a complexity that regular fruit sodas lacked, a grown-up edge that made it feel sophisticated and special. Women especially loved shrubs, ordering them at lunch counters and feeling very cosmopolitan with their unusual choice. The drink was actually quite old-fashioned even in the 1950s, a holdover from colonial times when fruit shrubs were a common way to preserve summer flavors. Some fountains made their own shrub syrups, letting fruit and vinegar and sugar sit together for weeks until the flavors married perfectly. The drink was refreshing without being heavy, flavorful without being too sweet, absolutely perfect for those long summer afternoons. As tastes changed and vinegar in drinks seemed increasingly odd to younger generations, shrubs quietly vanished from fountain menus. But recently they've started making a comeback in trendy bars and restaurants, proof that good ideas never really die. Number 1. The Black Cow. And here we are at number 1, the drink that defined soda fountain culture more than any other, the one that everyone ordered at least once, the legendary Black Cow. This magnificent creation was nothing more than a scoop of vanilla ice cream dropped into good report cards, good behavior, or sometimes just because it was Friday. Teenagers made them last as long as possible, using them as an excuse to sit at the fountain with friends for an hour or more. The drink had 100 different regional names. Some called it a root beer float, others a Boston cooler. But Black Cow.
These drinks weren't just beverages, they were moments frozen in time, each one connected to a summer afternoon that felt like it would last forever. They were first dates and family traditions, celebrations and ordinary Tuesdays that became special just because someone said, "Let's go to the fountain." The soda jerks who made these drinks were artists in their way, knowing exactly how much syrup, how much fizz, how much ice would create the perfect balance. When the soda fountains closed one by one, replaced by fast food restaurants and convenience stores, we lost more than just a place to get a cold drink. We lost gathering places, we lost craftsmanship, we lost that particular kind of summer magic that can't quite be recreated with anything that comes out of a bottle. Do you remember your favorite fountain drink? The one you always ordered? The one that still makes your mouth water when you think about it all these years later? Share those memories in the comments below. Tell us about your soda fountain, your town, your summers when these drinks were just part of life. If this trip down memory lane touched something in your heart, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel for more forgotten pieces of American history. Sometimes the smallest things, a drink in a tall glass on a hot summer day, carry the biggest memories. Thank you for remembering with us.